What's going on, Salt Strong Nation? Today we are going to be talking about how to properly set the drag on your spinning reel with or without a scale. Now, it's very important that your drag is adjusted properly because when you fight a fish, if it's not, chances are you might lose it. Now, what I mean by that is if you have your drag set too high, when a fish takes off and on a very sudden and very fast run, a lot of times the line will break because there was no give when that fish took off from the very tight drag and it caused your line to snap. Now, another thing that we will see if you've got a trout or a snook on the line, they have very thin mouths and very thin linings, and that hook point that's lodged into their mouth, if there's no give from a very high drag, it's going to tear a really big hole in their mouth, and a lot of times you're going to lose that fish when it shakes its head. Now, on the flip side of that, if you've got a drag that's set too light and a fish takes off on a very big run, if it's a tarpon or a shark, a lot of times it can actually spool you. Now, another thing that we will see with very light drags is when you go try and set the hook, you're not going to get a very deep dive in with that hook point because the drag was already engaging just from a hook set. So it's very important that we have that drag set at the proper amount. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that now with the scale. So these scales are actually pretty easy to pick up. They're pretty cheap too. I got this one for $7 from Walmart, but you just need to make sure that there's a hook or something you can connect your main line to, because what we're gonna do is pull the scale with the main line attached to it to gauge exactly how much pressure is required before your drag engages. Now, what you want it to read is between 20 to 30% of the breaking strength of the line that you have on your reel. So for example, this is 10-pound test on this reel. So when I pull on this scale, what I need it to read is between 2 and 3 pounds of force. So let's go ahead and take a look now. So as I pull on this, I'm going to just give it a steady pull out towards the guides, and it looks like we're sitting at about 3.26 pounds of force. So what I need to do is lighten up on my drag just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and reel this back in, and you just need to adjust it to see exactly what you're sitting at to get a proper setting. So let's try that one more time and see if we've gotten to the proper amount of pressure that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's set at 0 and pull it right back out. And now we've got 2.32, so that's a good drag setting right there. So with a scale, you can really fine tune exactly what the amount of pressure that you need to get that drag set right. So this next method is not as precise without a scale and without you having to tie things to dumbbells or any stupid stuff like that. All you need to do is wrap the line around your hand. Now what's going to happen if you have your drag set at the right amount and you start to apply pressure, there's going to be an indentation that's caused by the line. It's going to cause your skin to move in like you're seeing right here. If it's set too light, it's not even going to press into your skin and it's just going to look like it's sitting there. But if the drag's moving while you're applying pressure, that means it's set too light. And if it requires no effort to move that, again, it's set too light. Now, I've not moved this since we last looked at it on the scale. So just to show you guys, I'm applying a good amount of pressure to get that drag to move. And as you can see, it is making a good little indentation on my hand. Now, if I set it too light, just to show you guys, you know, almost no indentation on my hand. I'm having to, this is the same amount of pressure I was just using, no effort whatsoever to move that drag. But if I have it set too tight, let's go ahead and tighten it up a ton. If I have it set too tight, what's going to happen is I'm going to have this wrapped around my hand, I'm going to start trying to pull it, and it's going to require a lot of pressure, like enough to make me strain, and it feels like it's going to cut my hand. So if the line feels like it's going to cut your hand, you need to lighten up, and we're going to have it set, see that's a little bit too light, tighten it back up. I'm going to apply a good amount of pressure to get that drag moving and enough to make sure it's indentating right there on my pinky. As you guys can see, there's a good amount of pressure on this line, and I would be confident in saying that this is set at the right amount. So actually measuring out exactly where I landed with that method, I was able to get at 3.06 pounds of pressure. So a little bit over that range that I specified, the 2 to 3 with my 10-pound test. And obviously, if you have a higher pound test, you're going to want to set that pound of pressure higher on your drag because you want it at 20 to 30% of the breaking strength of your line rating. But again, that's going to change depending on the line that you have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I highly recommend that with your spinning reels, you have a smooth drag. Now the reel I'm using is a Daiwa Fuego, and that is available on the Salt Strong shop. If you're an insider, for 20% off. It's a great reel in terms of drag. I would say that there's really not any other that beats it. Maybe its big brother, the Daiwa Ballistic, but this is a only $99 reel, $75 if you're an insider, and the Daiwa Ballistic is up in the $225 range. But again, very smooth drags on these Daiwa reels, and it's very important when you're fighting fish, not just to have a smooth drag, but to have it set properly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you would like to see some more fishing tips, gear reviews, and other things of that nature, I highly recommend you check out our channel and you join us here in the Saltstrong Insider Club. So in case you're new to Saltstrong, we are the largest online fishing platform for saltwater anglers, and we have two very big guarantees. The first of which is all the information that we teach you in our tips and courses is going to help you catch more fish, and the second is that we're going to help you save money on tackle that you're already buying with our Insider Club discount. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at www.saltstrong.com. So guys, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live Saltstrong and wear the line.